Welcome back to Inspiring Hope, the community where we always encourage each other to have only positive expectations. I'm your host, Dr. Tracy Williams, and today I got another special guest. This is going to be an exciting episode for me because it's about health, and I love talking about health and wellness and making sure that we prosper in every area that we possibly can. So I want you to welcome to the show today for me, Mr. Tim Flatt, and that's Flatt. He is the CEO of Real-time voice analyzer. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay, awesome. Yay. So welcome to the show, Tim.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited that you're here today. Now, tell you a little bit about Tim. He does have a special product, one that I haven't heard of. You guys may have before because, everything is just advancing so much these days, especially with AI. But his product is pretty amazing, and it's interesting to check out the Real-time Voice Analyzer app, which serves as a non-invasive COVID and flu screening tool. Check that out, non-invasive COVID and flu screening. So it gives you a glimpse of its remarkable capabilities. We have provided a special link that grants you access to 21 complimentary screening tests. No credit card required. Now that's awesome because a lot of times they'll say it's free for the first such and such a days, but you still got to put in a credit card number. But this is not that way. So check it out if it's something that you are interested in, and make sure that if you get value out of this, that you share this, because COVID is still a real thing. And we know we definitely are already in flu season. A lot of people have been getting flu shots. I know a lot of you out there don't even believe in getting flu shots. I never got the flu shots just out of the fact that I'm like, I want to put flu in me. And so I've never had the flu and don't plan on getting the flu. So I figure if I haven't done it by now, there's no point in me doing it. But we are confident with this product that you'll be amazed by the cutting edge patent pending technology. All right. So first question, Tim, are there any regulatory approvals already for this technology that you're working on?
Okay, that's a very good question, Tracy. So here's the thing: it is a screening tool. Okay, the real-time voice analyzer is a screening tool, which that is not a regulated area, so you don't have to be regulated. Now, down the road, look at it kind of like the blood pressure medicine, the blood pressure device. First it came out, it was used, and then eventually it became a device, a medical device. When you go to a medical device, that's when you go to the FDA. But at this point here, it's a screening tool. It's not designed to diagnose or treat in any way. It's designed to give people a chance to figure out where they are, okay, and if there's any virus detected. So what makes it unique is that it's done with just your voice. And so that's why it's not invasive, because we can detect, or the technology can detect, whether you have COVID or some of the flus or even a common cold, which is, in other words, a contagious virus. It can detect it from your vocal folds.
Okay, well, that's pretty fascinating to me. So tell us a little bit, how does it work in a practical sense? How do you actually use it? Do you just hold it up to then talk like you're in the mic, or what?
Yeah, well, so you just take your phone and you would, I'll just grab my phone here. And so you would take the phone, and so I'm just giving you a mock testing here, right? But you put it up here and you push the button and you hold the button down. And the first thing you say is you hold it for 5 seconds, and you're trying to get the E sound. Okay. So you go tree. And while you're doing that, you can see that you're in the right volume and that it's working. And then after that's done, then you go on to the next vowel sound, and you go through 4 vowel sounds. So we did that because we wanted to be language agnostic. All right. And so once you go through the 4 vowel sounds, you submit it, and it takes anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of times it comes back in 3, but we say 5 to 10 minutes, and you get your result. I'll just give an example of something, how it works, how it's designed, right?
Okay.
So this morning, I woke up, and I live in Puerto Rico, but I've been off the island for a while. I just got back, and when I got back, I've had a lot of congestion. So the first thing you think when you get congestion is, do I have COVID, or do I have a sinuses, or what do I have? So, and I feel like I've got some symptoms where I feel a little sluggish and things like that. So it could kind of go either way. So this morning I just got up, I took the test. It took me less than 5 minutes to get everything done. And then I got a notification. I'll just hold this up and you can see it. Basically, it's an all clear pass. Now, when you get the all clear pass, what that is, it's a 99.9%, I'm sorry, 99.1% negative predictability, which means you don't have COVID. All right. There's no virus detected. And so that's the key. You really want the peace of mind. And I had a breakfast meeting at 8:30, and I took it at 7 because I'm like, if I'm not going to go to the meeting, it becomes back positive. And that was the determining factor. And that's how you stop the spread, right? You stop it because you're responsible. You take the test, you see it, you say, okay, I've got something that's contagious. I'm going to go ahead and hang back, and I'm going to take it easy for a day, or I'm going to go get a COVID test, or I'm going to take another step.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's pretty cool. So since it is on an app, obviously there's not really labeling like when you pick up an actual product in the store, but are there instructions once you download the app for how to use it? And are they, pretty easy to
Yes.
use? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're getting better at it all the time. Okay, so here's what happened: the app was developed, or really the technology was developed. It was initially used in a desktop app situation in medical clinics, in the Philippines, India, the U.S. And what would happen is you'd go into a medical clinic, you would take this test, but you'd have somebody saying, you have the mic there, and they would say this into the mic, and then they would send it off. They do everything. So you didn't have to do anything except say the four
Okay.
vowel sounds. And if you didn't say them right, they tell you to do it again. Well, that's what we had to start with. All right. And then we realized that can't work in a real app. So we went back and we actually started from the ground up, rebuilt the app so it could be used for the average person can get it, take the test, and go through and see how easy it works. And it's not hard to do at all.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, also one thing I want to ask is it something that can be used in, like, is it going to be, can it be used for people that speak a different language than English as well?
Yeah, well, so our initial goal is this here. We've introduced the app is live. It's available worldwide in both Apple and the Google Play stores. So for all Android and Apple phones, and it's in English right now. All right, now there are 1.54 billion English speaking people with cell phones. So we thought, well, that's a pretty good chunk of the market to go after. We will then add Spanish sometime in next year, which is the fourth most common language that's spoken, and we'll add that sometime in 2024. That will get us up over 2 billion coverage of over 2 billion people, and then we'll decide what to do from there.
Okay. Now, next question: did you guys have to go through any kind of clinical validation, even though it is just a tool and not, that you're—
Yes, you have to. Yeah, absolutely. And so Dr. Singh, who is a world-renowned voice analyst, she invented or created this process, set up the algorithm and the AI that makes this all work. And so she's from Carnegie Mellon University. Now, she's fantastic, but also there's been studies done at Yale Medical School. There's one done at Cambridge, and there's also one done at MIT. And they all prove the same science. Matter of fact, there's one out of, if you do research it, you'll notice that there are other people that have been doing these studies, and they've been having a target to bring out some sort of app 2 years from now. All right.
Okay.
But there's one out of a study out of Amsterdam. So basically, the science is proven, all right, that absolutely you can determine whether you have a virus, a respiratory virus from the vocal folds. Well, then comes down to delivering that in a retail environment where the average person can use it. And that's what our app does. And of course, we keep improving it as we go.
Okay, very cool. So it almost sounds like there's been some peer review testing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we say peer review. I'm not sure if it's the technical peer review, but basically there's been a number of independent studies that have all verified the same thing.
Okay. So have there been, are there any like false negative, testing that show up with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could, so it's 99.1%. So that means there's basically 1% that's going to be a false negative. Now, if you compare that like to a rapid test where they run 80%, 81%, so they have a much higher level. And then on the positive side, we run about 94.7% right now. That's okay. So there's about 5.3% that could be false positives. But what makes it unique is that you can't determine it by a rapid test because rapid tests don't detect the most current variants. All right, they're always running about 3 months behind. Where our technology, since it's picking up a certain virus on your vocal fold, there's a similarity in it. It can pick that up right away. So if you compare it to a PCR test, then you would probably find about a 5% variance in that.
Okay. And now, does it also give any suggestions of what to do, for follow-up or things like that for maybe somebody who may not know or may not have a doctor or something like that?
Yeah, so what we say is this here. We have to be careful what we say, okay? But what we say is first, and I'll just walk you through it. The first thing we say is if you test positive, go ahead and drink a glass of water, wait 20 minutes, and take a test again, okay? And by the way, even if you're paying for the test, the absolute most you can pay for these tests are $1 a piece, okay? So we're not talking about something really expensive.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is if you take the test, and the reason you want to do that, kind of imagine like this here. I live in a condo in Puerto Rico. I'm on the 9th floor. If I run up from the garage, I run up 10 flights of stairs, sit down and take my blood pressure test, right? It may vary.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so it's the same thing with the COVID test. If you're dried out, especially if you wake up in the morning where you haven't had anything to drink, it can give a false negative or false positive. So it's important to drink that water, wait about 20 minutes and take it again and see what happens. And then if you still are negative, then we just say there's a variety of things you can do. You can rest. You can say, I'm going to self-isolate for a day. You can say, I'm going to go get a PCR test and verify whether I have COVID or not, or you can go see the doctor. But you basically have your choices there. All this is doing is, like for me this morning, it gave me a confidence that I could go out and have a meeting and not pass COVID on to somebody. And I didn't feel like I needed to run to Walgreens and get one of those really cool nasal swabs and stick it up my nose and start to cry. Okay, so I saved myself the pain of that because I know I don't have COVID.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely invasive. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they get that you think, well, it's not that invasive, it's just in your nose, but everybody who went through it remembers it not being very positive.
Right. Now, what are the or is there anything around privacy and data protection? Since it's something that you put in, on your phone, you're downloading.
Right. Yeah. So basically, what happens is we use one of the top security platforms for processing the information. They have many Fortune 500 companies on them, and so basically, that's what we do, and we don't store any data. Okay, so once the test is done, the data is gone. We don't share the data with anybody. We don't sell your data to anybody or sell your name or anything to anybody. We're really strict on our privacy, and our policy is that way. But it's never shared with anybody. We don't share it with any governments. We just don't give that information out. The information is no information off the app is available to anybody else, and we don't save anything where a data breach is going to take place.
Okay. Well, can this eventually be adapted or integrated into the healthcare system or electronic health records of some sort?
Well,
maybe not now, but later.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, for example, like I said, there are clinics in other parts of the world, in the third world countries or developing countries that use these in health clinics. Okay. And we work hard to make them available for them in health clinics. And so we think that as time goes on, that Dr. Singh and her research team will continue to develop it. We believe that down the road, we will become a medical device. Okay. And when we are a medical device, they'll probably be able to determine which strain or virus you have, and possibly even determining whether you have pneumonia or RSV or all sorts of different stuff. but every time a test is taken, and then especially when it gets a positive test, we do have an opportunity for people, or we will, I should say, have an opportunity for people to say, if I have a positive test, I want my data shared with the research team so that they can go ahead and look at that, not from me, but just in general. They won't know who the research is from. They'll just know that they have it. It allows them to study it. And every time that happens, the AI gets smarter, and so does the research team. And so it gives us a chance to be able to read it better. It's really ultimately funding future medicine, future testing, because right now the biggest problem they have with getting the testing done is their funding. And so, of course, we pay them for their stuff, so that helps fund them to continue to test and expand the tool.
Right. Now, will this be temperature related variations, on your phone? Because how sometimes the phone gets warm. Can that make a difference as well? Should they make sure they keep the phone in a cool place or a certain temperature?
I don't know any. I've not heard that causes any variation at this point.
Okay.
So it's possible it does. I'll check into that, but at this point here, we haven't heard of any variation coming from the heat of the phone.
Okay. Sounds good. Because that could really make a difference, sometimes in the summer as well. Now, I know you were saying just talk on the phone with the, and you ask it. It kind of reminds me of when they say, they stick that thing down your throat and say, ah.
Yeah.
So does it look for certain symptoms like coughing or throat clearing or hoarseness or breathing sounds or sniffling when it's detecting these things through the app?
No, it's purely going to come from your vocal folds. Okay, it's not picking up anything else except for that vocal fold, that 5-second holding a certain tone for 5 seconds, what gives it the information it needs from your vocal folds. And actually, the viruses, I've been told that the viruses are smaller than a molecule of water. I mean, they're very, very small, but it can be picked up. And that's the key. It's kind of like people think. I've heard some people say this is kind of crazy that technology can be this far, and I'm like, well, it is. But think about this here. In 1850s, they started using the stethoscope to listen to people's hearts and lungs and their bowels, and they initially started off almost like with a paper towel. They wrap paper up to listen to get the sound when it was a woman, because they didn't want to get too close to her. And that changed medicine, because that was a screening tool. They knew where to send people afterwards, and they could do that 150 years ago. It's not that hard to believe that with the technology we have now, that we could just hear more things and deliver the test results to an individual via app.
Yeah, it's so many things possible and available out here now. You just kind of think in the terms of, I think of it in terms of the Jetsons, like anything is possible. That was my favorite cartoon growing up. So I was like, I can't wait till they invent the thing where you just go push the button and it pops out your dinner for you. You don't have to cook a thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, in about 20 years, we'll look back at the Jets, call that old fashioned, right? I mean, at the rate it's going these days, it's amazing how advanced things are becoming.
That is amazing. And you sound like a person that has invented something before or something like that. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I've never invented anything. All right, so I tell you that right now, not even the real-time voice analyzer. I'm a marketing guy. I started my first business when I was 19 years old. I've been doing it for 43 years now. I had businesses in a number of fields, but in 25 years ago, we started, my business partner, Ron Snodgrass, and I started a company called Real Time. And we started with Real Time Pain Relief, but we call it the Real Time Network. And we start off with a topical pain relief product that's based on natural ingredients. And that's been around for 25 years. We have a Real Time Health Pass. We have a Real Time products. We've had a number of Real Time PPE. We did a lot of different things. And so now this is the Real-Time Voice Analyzer. It's all part of our network. And what we basically do is look for really great products and a niche in the market, and then we market them.
Yeah, well, perfect timing for the COVID as well. Now, was this available also a couple of years ago when COVID first began?
Yeah, no, it's been available for about 2 weeks now.
Okay,
Okay, so
awesome.
it's brand new. I wish we had available 2 years ago. We probably would be, talking on my private jet, Tracy, if that was the case, because I think we would have had some people's attention. But no, we're just we've been had it out for about 2 weeks. Our plan is to slowly introduce it, make sure we get everything up to speed. We're finding little bugs and stuff like that, which you do in apps because you have so many variations of phones and stuff. And then
Right.
our goal is after the first year to really go after it and start to market it very heavy worldwide.
Okay, well, great. So people are kind of getting in on a good time right now if they do want to check it out. And I understand they can get, you said 21.
Right, that's till November 10th. That's kind of our exclusive offer till 21 free tests. You get 10 the first month and then one each month after that. And for a full year. And that has to be done by November 10th. After November 10th, then the free offer changes. It becomes a lot less. Okay, but we're still going to have a free offer because we don't really. So everybody has a different philosophy in business, right? So when an app says it's free or an online website and they take your credit card, they only do that for one reason, because they plan on charging you, right?
Yeah,
And so our theory is, look, we're going to give you something. If we prove that we have value and we earn your business, then you can come back and put your credit card in and buy it. But
right.
that's up to you. We don't want it to be an automatic charge or whatever. So that's just a different philosophy. Will we capture as many sales that way? Probably not, but we'll sleep better at night knowing that everybody who's got our product that's paying for it wanted to pay for it and didn't
Right.
get tricked into it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think a lot of times they they count on you forgetting this will last for 7 days and
Absolutely.
then it's gonna automatically charge you. Because sometimes people don't actually read that small print. We just see the free, we're like, free, okay, yeah, free is for me. But everything
Yep.
free is not a good thing. It's free doesn't always be
Yeah.
free. But let me ask, where do they go and check this out? What website can they check this out? Or what's the app called they can download, or easy way they can look at that and other products that are marketing?
Okay, so the first thing they could do is if you're really good at apps, okay, then you could just go to the App Store and it's just real time voice analyzer. You can go to the Google Play or you can go to the Apple, and it's all set up that link will work and give you your 10 free tests. If or you can go to our website, which is another really tricky name, realtimevoiceanalyzer.com. So we're not that we get something, we stick with it. So that's where you can go and get information and read all up about it. And yeah, well, I'm going to give you a special link as well where they can go and read about the special offer.
Okay, sounds great. Well, you guys heard it here first. Hopefully, first here, real time. You can't miss it, And as he's stating everything, so he branded pretty well. We've been talking about branding the last couple of episodes here. So, if you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, just know you gotta brand yourself so that you can be recognized, heard, and when it's time for them to get something, they can see everything that you have available to you. Well, again, Tim, I
That's
want
right.
to thank you so much for taking the time out to, just do an interview with us here today. Any last words that you like to share?
No, I just really appreciate your time, Tracy, and having me on. So I look forward to serving your audience in whatever way we can. Thank
Okay,
you
well,
again.
thank you so much. And
Okay.
thank you for the special offer.
Okay. Thanks.
You
Take
guys,
care now.
peace out.
Okay.
Thank you so